eMigr8 platform will be able to help, and we will be able to answer questions that you may have across different visa opportunities. We have a lot of resources that we've made available on the eMigr8 platform over a period of time. And we believe that all of this is available to be of help to you. And so welcome to this edition of eMigr8 Open Day. It's going to be 1 hour, 30 minutes or thereabouts, packed with information. Whether you're an absolute beginner, just joining the field of technology for the first time, or you've been established in the field of technology, we believe this is going to be absolutely useful session for you. eMigr8 is the tech-enabled pathway to talent mobility, relocation, and settlement in countries like the UK, US, Canada, France, Germany, and many other forward-thinking countries of the world, Australia, and many others. Many of these countries of the world want you to come to their jurisdiction, particularly if you can show yourself as a talent, if you can show yourself as an expatriate, if you can show that you will be able to add value to their jurisdiction, they would like you to come to their jurisdiction. And how you would discover, get inspired towards this visa, work towards qualifying for the visa if you are not yet qualified already, be able to show yourself as qualified to your assessors, be able to apply successfully, be able to integrate into your new environment. All of these things is what we focus on the eMigr8 platform. Do let me know if you can see my screen. I'm sharing my screen now. Let me know if you can see my screen. Today's session is focused on from zero to global talent. We're not talking about one particular country. We're talking about multiple countries of the world, because many of those countries are looking for global talents, such as yourself. And what we are doing today is to help you understand what are they looking for and what could that journey look like from absolute newbie to the point where you could be endorsed as a global talent in different countries. The UK global talent, the US global talent, the O1 visa, the Australia global talent, the innovation visa, and several other visas available for you if you can show that you are globally attractive. In terms of the session today, we will start by just speaking a little bit about what eMigr8 is and what eMigr8 is not. We'll talk about the eMigr8 Tech Visa app, amongst others. We will talk then about the main theme for the day, and then we would open up for question and answers. If you wait till the end, we do have a gift for you. And so we hope that you do stick with us till the end. Or if you're watching the replay video, if you watch till the end, we do also have a gift for you. We'll talk briefly about some of our packages on the eMigr8 platform, including the Settle in the UK as a Tech Talent, which is one of the packages that we do have on the platform. And we'll talk about some other resources that we believe will be of absolute help to your journey. And so welcome again to this edition of eMigr8 Open Day. If you haven't done so already, please download the app, as I mentioned earlier, because you would be able to find some of our replay videos. We've done many open days in the past, focused on different visa types. Unlike today's session, which is more general, where we are talking about different countries of the world, we've done sessions around the Australia Global Talent Visa, focused on that. Sessions around the Canada Startup Visa, sessions around the UK Global Talent Visa, the UK Innovator Founder Visa, the US EB1 Visa, the US O1 visa. We've done sessions on many of these where coaches are on the platform have come to the session to give a lot of value. Don't forget that we're not offering immigration advice nor legal advice on the eMigr8 platform. However, we're offering experience, we're offering hand-holding, we're offering coaching, and we're offering information that you may not find easily elsewhere. All of this is available at the tip of your fingers on the eMigr8 platform. Today's session, from zero to global talents. If you haven't done so, this is the link to get the eMigr8 app. Look for the eMigr8 app on the stores. eMigr8 is spelled eMigr with the number 8. That's how we spell eMigr8. eMigr8 is spelled eMigr with the number 8, and you can find it in the different stores. And we do also have a web version for the app as well. One of the packages on the platform is our Settle in the UK as a Tech Talent. And this is a package available whether you're an absolute beginner or you're an expert in the field of technology. This is a package that allows you to move to the UK with your spouse and dependents. And it is also available to you if you're already in the UK and what you're looking for is a pathway to switch to a pathway to settlement in the UK. For this particular package, you will need some time and equity investment. You will need a minimum of 3 to 6 months if you're looking at this package, and you will need to have some monetary investment into your profile and your startup if you are looking at that particular package. But this is just one out of several available on the eMigr8 platform. As regards the Open Day, we have many editions of eMigr8 Open Day coming up soon. We have Open Days focused on UK Innovator Founder Visa coming soon. We have Open Days focused on the UK Global Talent Visa, around the Canada Startup Visa, around the French Tech Visa, and several other of this nature. What is eMigr8? eMigr8 is your tech-enabled pathway to talent mobility, relocation, and settlement. And what eMigr8 does is basically helps you become globally attractive. That's the unique selling point of our platform, the eMigr8 Visa platform. Yes, it's true that many of us on the call may have come onto this call because we're interested in one visa pathway or the other. And we do talk about visa pathways on this platform. Don't get me wrong. But those visa pathways that we talk about, it's actually an end result or a side effect, really, of a bigger end result. What we say on this platform is that if you are globally attractive, you have options from all over the world. You could choose to be in your home country and operate within your home country, but as a global talent. You could choose to operate in your own country, but work globally, maybe remotely, in multiple countries of the world. We are able to support that. Or you could choose that, oh, you would like to move with your family or move by yourself to a different jurisdiction for whatever reason. We're able to support you on that journey as well on the eMigr8 platform. And the reason is simple. The reason is because if you are globally attractive, you have those options. And that's what the platform helps you to do, to become globally attractive. Why does it work? The reason why it works is because for many forward-thinking countries of the world, they've made different visa opportunities available to you. And they made those visa opportunities available not because they are doing you a favor. In fact, it's actually the opposite. If you are globally attractive, you will be doing them a favor moving to their jurisdiction. Why? Because you are going to be moving with your talent. You are moving with your ideas. You are moving with your innovation. You are moving with your intellectual property. They know that you will be able to help them create jobs. You'll be able to help them create value. You will pay high taxes in some cases, whether as an individual expert or as a owner of a business. You create employment. And so they've seen the net of it to say, oh, that's fine. Please come to our jurisdiction. Come to our jurisdiction with your family, with your spouse and your dependent, because we know our jurisdiction will benefit more from you. And that's what we are looking at from an eMigr8 platform perspective, helping you become globally attractive. And we do that from two ways. We do that with your tech-enabled profile and also with your tech-enabled business, which is usually going to be a startup. So it can be you as an individual growing to a point where you are globally attractive and many countries of the world are then inviting you to come. Or it could be about your startup, because in some cases, your startup itself can be your visa. And some cases, your startup can be both your visa and your tickets. And how do you do all of this? This is what we focus on the eMigr8 platform. Practically, the platform, we look at things like information sessions. We look at general inquiry. We look at coaching and handholding. These are some of the things that the platform, in terms of our services, covers. We look at preliminary assessment to say, oh, do I already qualify? How close am I to qualifying? What's my qualification status? We look at, for people that are on a do-it-yourself approach, because we support many people that are doing it themselves, taking the journey by themselves. We support you as well. We support you with things like self-directed roadmap towards qualifying for one visa or the other. Or if you're already qualified, a self-directed roadmap towards applying for that visa, putting your best possible foot forward. But if you need a little bit more help, it's also available on the platform where we're able to work with you and hold you on a roadmap towards success. And so an example would be with the UK Global Talent Visa, which is one out of the many visas that we cover on the eMigr8 platform. We're able to help with reviewing your application if you're about to submit. We're able to help with, oh, I've submitted an application, I got rejected. Why did I get rejected? How can I submit a better application next time? We're able to support with that. And it gets better. Over 80% of what we do on the platform, we actually do at no cost to you. It's free to you. And that's because we operate a freemium model. A freemium model is a model where we give many things available free, over 80% in our case. And then, of course, we do charge a premium for some of our services as well. On the free side, we have the eMigr8 Tech Visa app, which is the best place to start if you want to get the best from this platform. Download the app, use the app every day. In fact, if you're able to achieve a certain number of consistent usage on the app, it unlocks a number of additional benefits for you. We have information and inspiration sessions. We have the eMigr8 community, and we have a free community. And we have the monthly open day like this one, you're watching the replay video or you are currently attending live. We have introductory videos. We have open coaching sessions. We have visa-specific office hours. And we also do some one-to-one coaching sessions at no cost to you, mostly our short sessions. We need to mention, though, that we are only able to do one short session per individual initially. What we advise is that take advantage of all these opportunities and all these resources that are available to you. And then when it is time for you to book the one-to-one session, it would then be a point where you've used those resources. You have specific questions that are unique to you. Don't go to those short sessions that are free and ask questions like, oh, what is eMigr8? You can Google it. You can attend the open day. Don't go there asking, what is the Canada startup visa? You can Google it. Those are not the kinds of things that we expect you to bring to those coaching sessions. Come with hard questions that you feel like a coach will be able to help you unlock, because that will then be additional value to you. Spend the time first is what we are saying. Do your own research is what we are saying. On the premium side, however, we do have a number of items that are available at a cost, including a premium community for people who are invested in the journey. We do have a premium community. We have our personalized coaching sessions, and we have different packages that may be useful for your journey. All of these are available on the eMigr8 Tech Visa platform. Some of the packages available include the move to the UK as a global talent, move to the UK as an innovator founder visa. We also have packages like the Canada Startup Visa package. We have the Self-Start UK package. We have the Settle in the UK as a tech talent package, and several other packages. And you will see on the screen some of those packages and what countries they do focus on. For example, the US Global Talent route is a route that focuses on the US O1 visa. That's what we focus on for that particular route on the eMigr8 platform. We do have packages for the US EB2 NIW National Interest Waiver as well. For example, if you have a UK Masters, you are either close to qualifying or maybe even already qualified for the US EB2 NIW program. The eMigr8 community is there to help. We encourage you to join. We encourage you to ask questions. We encourage you to like, share, and comment on the platform. I mentioned the app already, but I will just mention to you to say you will unlock a free coaching session, a short coaching session at no cost to you if you are able to achieve a 7-day streak on the eMigr8 app, which means you use the app every day for 7 days. That unlocks additional coaching sessions for you at no cost to you. eMigr8 is currently incubated by Bincom Dev Center. And at Bincom Dev Center, we have a number of services that may help your journey. And I will take a few moments to talk about those. We have the Bincom Global Tech Program. And this will help you if you're an absolute beginner looking to get into the field of technology. And so as a newbie, it helps you within 3 key pillars. You are able to learn the right skills, gain experience, and gain exposure in the field of technology. But if you are also at the intermediate level, to say I realize that, oh, maybe my experience or exposure or maybe even skill is not quite at the level where I need it to be, this program is also absolutely useful for you. Because instead of starting from stage 0, you may start from stage 2, and then you're able to go to the next stage. And that could help your journey towards being globally attractive. This is an example of a customized version of the program. The full program is 1 to 2 years for the full program, but this is a 3-month subset of the program that helps you get from one stage to the next. You will get the right trainings at your correct stage. You will get career coaching. You will get apprenticeship that comes with UK company reference. And you probably already know, if you're already in that line, why a reference from a UK company is important to your journey, and several other benefits along that line that would help you get to the next stage faster. If you're already an expert in the field, we do have something for you as well. Mentoring is one of the ways in which you can show yourself as globally attractive. And so we invite you to join the Bincom mentoring platform. With the UK Global Talent as an example, one of the evidences that you can submit to show that you are adding value in the ecosystem is mentoring, but not just mentoring, but it has to be on a structured platform. This is one of such structured platforms. I must mention upfront that we are not able to onboard every single person that applies because it is very competitive. However, we are inviting you to do apply and come on board to mentor on the Beacom mentoring platform if you do qualify. This can help your journey. And if you're interested in the startup routes, because one of the routes that we talk about multiple times on this platform are the likes of the Canada Startup Visa, the UK Innovator Founder Visa, and several other startup related visa routes. A good place to learn how to build a startup is Labs by Beacom. And we believe that the best way to learn how to build a startup is to actually build a startup. And we are able to help you do that in a controlled environment, in a guided environment with mentors and coordinators and facilitators and technical talent and resources that will help you build a viable startup. It's a 3 to 6 months program. We'll put you with other people who are interested. A team usually will be a minimum of 3 people, 3 to 10 people, and you're able to create a startup. That startup will need to onboard real life users as part of that 3 to 6 months program. All of it is managed, and we will be able to handle you through the entire journey of what you need to do. By the end of the day, you become a startup founder. You have yet another startup, or maybe your first startup in your portfolio. And this is also good if you're looking for industrial experience, or if you're working in service field and you realize that, oh, you need to have some digital products in your portfolio. This may be useful for you. If you're interested, beacom.net/labs is where you need to go to. I'm sure my colleagues will be dropping some of these links on the chat, and or you can take a screenshot and you can visit those URLs later, or you can get those URLs directly on the eMigr8 app. The last one I will talk about is our tech career coaching service. And with the tech career coaching service, what that does for you is that you will be able to use that to land your next role faster. We combine many things, including the relevant experience in your target country. This is available in the UK at the moment. We are launching for Germany, and we're also launching for Canada also in the coming months. But right now, available in the UK is our tech career coaching service, helping you connect to technical recruiters and helping you connect with roles that come with work visa sponsorship in the right occupation code. All of this we are able to help you do using the tech career coaching service that helps you land your next role faster. And I'm going to come back to this slide, but I will talk about it briefly now, which is that you may want to take a screenshot of this slide. And for some of us on this call, this may be where you want to start, because this is by no means an exhaustive list of tech visas. And of course, it's by no means an exhaustive list of visas that are available. But this just gives you an idea of the lay of the land. Different visa pathways are available. And for many of these, you could qualify for these pathways. Some people on the call are already qualified, but they may not know. But then you could qualify for this pathway over a period of time. And that is part of why we are talking about many of these visa opportunities. And this is part of why we are coaching on some of these visa opportunities. We'll come back to this slide because our focus today is from zero to global talent. And we'll give you an idea of what the journey may look like for you, even whether you're an absolute beginner or you are already qualified and you are working on your application at the moment. The lowest common denominator across all these visa pathway is be globally attractive. If you are globally attractive, you have options. It will be up to you to determine, as I said earlier, to say what it is that you want to focus on. Do you want to focus on the startup routes? Do you want to focus on being a professional? It would then be up to you. What country do you want to move to? Is it Australia? Is it UK? Is it Canada? Is it US? What country do you want to settle in? Do you want to start as a digital nomad, move from your own country somewhere else first, and then it makes it easier in some cases for you to move to your final destination eventually? It would then be up to you to determine what option that you want to take at that point. Because if you are globally attractive, you would have options of different visa pathways from all over the world. And this is what we talk about on the eMigr8 platform. This is what we talk about on the eMigr8 community. At the moment, in the coming year, we are looking at expanding our focus, but at the moment, we focus on visa opportunities that has a pathway to settlement. It could be a direct pathway to settlement or an indirect pathway to settlement. We focus on tech-enabled visa opportunities at the moment. We focus on opportunities where you can move with your family and dependent. And we focus on opportunities where you can plan even as an absolute beginner. Many of these opportunities, we discuss them in depth in our various eMigr8 open days. This is also available to you. This is the eMigr8 Tech Visa Landscape. What the team has done was to actually go out there and do research for you. In terms of the different visa opportunities, some of the ones we talk about on this platform from multiple countries, to say what are the qualification criteria, what does the roadmap look like, what does the cost look like, what does the pathway to settlement look like. And all of this has been done and made available to you at no cost to you. You just need to download the eMigr8 Tech Visa app, and then you can find the landscape there, and you can take a look from there. But don't forget that if you don't yet qualify, we are still talking to you. And the reason is because the journey from newbie to globally attractive requires you to plan every day, requires you to have a personalized game plan, a roadmap that helps you get to where it is you want to get to. Getting there accidentally is more difficult, and you're leaving it to chance. What we think that you should do is have a pathway, a personalized roadmap for yourself based on many of the things we talk about on this platform, because we do open days on the eMigr8 platform. And many of these open days, we bring coaches, some of them our successes. We bring them on the platform to share what was their journey like. And the reason why we do that is because you will be able to learn one or two things. Many of these are already available for you. Many of those replay videos, only a few of them are on the premium side. Many of them are actually available for free on the platform. And what you should be doing is have a roadmap of, oh, newbie today, beginner tomorrow, intermediate next tomorrow, expert, qualified. And then when you are even applying, there's a method to that as well. And that some of that is what we will be sharing on this session. If you need some help, we are available to help. You can send a WhatsApp message to any one of the numbers on the screen, and you can let them know what it is that you need. And what would happen is that they will be able to arrange for you to speak with an eMigr8 coach who will be able to get you to where you want to be. You're welcome to this edition of eMigr8 Open Day for those just joining us. This edition, we will take a few moments to talk about from zero to UK Global Talent, which will be the next session. We've also said that if you do have questions, please drop them in the chat. We will take as many questions as possible during this session. We'll take as many questions as possible during this session. We will also talk about many of the different resources that are available to you on the eMigr8 platform. We're just going to take a moment now. I'm going to ask you to please drop a question, or if you haven't done so already, let us know where you are joining us from. Let us know how we can help, particularly on today's edition of eMigr8 Open Day. We'll be back in a moment. Thank you for joining us in this edition of eMigr8 Open Day. And so we talked about from zero to global talent. And I'll just be sharing a bit from my insights as regards the topic over the next few minutes. If you haven't already, we're asking that if you do have questions, please drop them in the chat, because that helps us to ensure that we are adding as much value as possible to you as an individual. On the eMigr8 platform, what we've done is we've curated different visa opportunities available to you as a talent. Some of these opportunities, not many of them, are available for you at a beginner level. There are many more opportunities available at intermediate and at the advanced level. Many more opportunities. And earlier, what I did was I showed you a landscape, which we'll go back to in a moment. And that landscape talks about different visa opportunities from all over the world. In that landscape, you saw that there were some visa opportunities that were for startups, and different countries of the world had different visas that were available if you're a startup founder. There are opportunities available if you are a talent, to say as an individual, you've been able to reach a certain level in your career and a certain level in your visibility. And don't get me wrong, you don't have to have won a Nobel Prize. It could just be the fact that you're contributing to your ecosystem. And that would also be able to give you access to different visa opportunities. It could also be that it's work-based, to say that you've gotten employed by a company in your target country, because many countries of the world have different work visas available that expects them to help them bring expatriates to their jurisdiction. And I'll talk a bit about the word expatriate in a moment. It could also just be around investment. It could also just be temporary visas. Many countries, a lot of the European countries, for example, have temporary digital nomad visas. A number of them that don't yet have also been launching those kinds of visas to say they recognize that people work remotely. We don't mind you coming, in some cases with your family, for you to move to our jurisdiction, and then you can work remotely. So different visas, different terms for those visas. But I'd like to ask you a question. What is the difference between these two words? And I'm hoping that you will contribute in the chat. What is the difference between the word immigrants and the word expatriates? And I'm not thinking about illegal immigrants at this point. I'm thinking about legal immigrants and expatriates. I would ask that, could you please drop that in the chat? Your thoughts. Those are two English words. Immigrants, legal immigrants, if you may, but immigrants and then expatriates. What is the difference between these two words? I'm hoping you are typing in the chat. I'll wait for a moment. You can type in the chat. What's the difference between the word immigrants and expatriates? Interesting. In a lot of cases, when we think of expatriates, we think of them moving from developed economies to developing economies. And so a lot of times when I come from Nigeria, right? When a white man moves to Nigeria, we think of that person as an expatriate, regardless of their skills in some cases. But then when a Nigerian moves to the UK, we think of them simply as immigrants, even though they have skills. And the truth is that this is wrong, because the actual word is thinking about the fact that you have skills. And so you can be an expert moving from one side to the other, or from the other side to the other side as well. You can move with your skills. There's no need for you to move to a new country and start from ground zero. Yes, don't get me wrong, you will need to integrate. Don't get me wrong, yes, you will need to learn some things in their culture, in their jurisdiction. But the truth is that a C# programmer is a C# programmer, regardless of where you are in the world. A product manager is a product manager. A business analyst is a business analyst, regardless of where you are in the world. But one of the mistakes that many people make is that when they are moving and they don't realize that, oh, they also have transferable skills. And so one of the interesting ones is you move to, I see for the UK, for example, move to the UK and you've had 10 years of experience in the industry, but you moved as a student. You're not just a student. You're not just a student that is just doing a master's. You're a student with 10 years of experience. You're an expatriate. But are you moving with those skills? Are you transferring those skills to your new jurisdiction, to your new country? And the reason why I ask this question is because the mindset in which we move sometimes needs to be changed. There's no reason why you've achieved a certain level in your career, you can't continue growing from that level. There's no reason why you're already on level 7 in your career, then you believe that the best thing to do when you are moving is that you go back and start from level 0, maybe level 1, and then start building from there. You've created a zenith for yourself. What we believe is that you can move at that level 7, maybe a step lower, maybe in some cases, but you can move at that same level and continue thriving, continue growing to the zenith of your potential. And this is not theory that we are talking about. We have several successes that we've helped and several people that even have done this before eMigr8 started. We started eMigr8 because we realized that many people needed this nudge. But not just the inspiration to say you can achieve this, but also the direction, the hand-holding, the coaching to actually help you make it happen. This is what we do on the eMigr8 platform. And then you are qualified. Sometimes some people look down on themselves. They don't even realize they are qualified. You hear that word global talent and you think it's not you they are talking about. It's you. It can be you. In fact, it is you. Because yes, what are they talking about? Some of those things, you probably already have them. And the ones you don't have, maybe you just need a month, 2 months, 3 months, even if it's 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, for you to get there. But the question is, are you doing the work that you need to do today to get to that point of being qualified? Are you spending the time? Do you have some sort of roadmap? Have you taken a look at some of those criteria and look at it clearly? Because in some cases, you already have the things you're asking for. I coach people. I'm one of the coaches on the eMigr8 platform, in case you didn't guess that. Right. And I coach people sometimes, and then, oh, we have a short session, a 1 hour session. By the time we're done with that session, they realize, oh, I was qualified all along. I'm ready. And we've had many successes. We've had over 40 successes on the platform today, and we are looking at having many more. Right. My point is that don't write yourself off because you heard the word global talent, because you heard the word alien with extraordinary ability, because you heard the word innovator. Of all of those things are definitions, and you can actually work yourself to being there. Now, what we are talking about here is not fake it till you make it, to say, oh, okay, let me just pretend, or somebody will give me a document and all of those kind of things. We don't do that here. We're saying that you can actually be qualified. And when you're qualified, you can actually show yourself to those assessors, looking at your documents, looking at your profile, looking at your startup, looking at all of the things that you have, to say that you are qualified, because you are qualified. And for absolute beginners, the journey starts with 1 day. It starts with you getting to understand what you need to look like. And so we talked about from zero to global talent. I'm rounding up now, and I'm hoping that we would have many questions. And it starts from an absolute newbie. Today, we focus on technology as an industry on the eMigr8 platform. But when we say tech, we are not just saying the technical side of tech. We're saying either the technical side of tech or the business side of technology. On the technical side of tech, you could opt to be a software developer, Python, C#, PHP, JavaScript, several different programming languages. You could opt to be a cybersecurity expert. You could opt to be an infrastructure DevOps expert, cloud engineering, and several others, many of those technical skills. But you could also opt to be on the business side of technology. You can opt to be a product manager, a service manager, a project manager, a digital marketing expert, and several others. And when I say a newbie today, in some cases, you may already have graduated from uni, tertiary institutions, or you may have been working for many years, you could already have transferable skills that you could use to shorten your time as a newbie, as a beginner. The reason why I say so is because accounting is accounting, whether in the field of technology or elsewhere. And so we have a fast-growing industry of financial technology, fintech for short. And you could find your place there because you already have the finance background. And so you can be on the business side of technology. You'll find that there are many of these visa opportunities that do not discriminate between whether you have technical skill or business skill. You have to be in the field of technology, don't get me wrong. But if you already have years of experience in other industry, you can transfer that into this new field of technology. It's even more interesting in this world now because with the advent of AI, there's a lot that you can do. Whatever industry you are, just add AI to it. And there are many opportunities there. Whatever industry you have, whatever industry you are, just add tech to it. Many opportunities there. Civic tech, legal tech, med tech, several. And so absolute newbie, start. You will need to get skills because yes, even if you've been a project manager in the construction space, for example, there are skills you will need to be a technology project manager. And so you will need to get those skills. You may need to register for training. And yes, you may be starting from zero. But don't stay at zero for too long, is what we are saying. And as that journey continues, you will get to a beginner level. So you start from newbie, you get to beginner level. At the beginner level, now you've picked a field. You've picked a field that's, I mean, whether you have transferable skill or you're just starting and you're just coming of age, you picked a field. You will need to understand what are the things that you ought to know. Don't be one of those ones. I don't want to call their generation who will watch a 30 seconds video on social media and they will think they know everything there is to know about an industry that people spend years building. Don't be like that. At beginner level, what you want to do is ensure you have the right mentoring, ensure you have the right curriculum, ensure you understand this is the lay of the land, ensure you understand these are all the theoretical things I need to know. But don't just stop at knowing the theory. You need to ensure that you have the right experience applying that theory to day-to-day work, to adding value in the field. And ensure that you have the right exposure, showing where all of this is going to go to eventually. Now, at that beginner level, I will talk about being a professional, and I will also talk about being a founder, a startup founder at each one of the level as I continue. At the beginner level, you could also start looking at building startups. Because one of the visa opportunity you may want to look at that level may be something like the UK Innovator Founder Visa. With the UK Innovator Founder Visa, they don't require you, what you require is a startup idea, not even the company itself, that is adjudged as innovative, viable, and scalable. You also need to show that you're a genuine founder. And this is part of why we talk about our Labs by Bincom. Because with Labs by Bincom, you're able to, within a 6-month period, build your first startup. Whether or not your startup is successful is irrelevant to this conversation. Because if your startup is unsuccessful, if your startup fails, you will still have built capacity, you will have built experience. And that counts for something. Even to your assessors who are looking at, oh, have you done this before? Have you built a startup before? You have an example to show. And there are many other ways you can go about it, but I'll talk about some of the things we help with at those different levels. Don't stop at the beginner level though, because don't forget that there's life after the visa anyway. You will still need to make money. You will still need to add value. You will still need to be able to earn, even when you move to your target country. Please don't forget that. So don't say, oh, I'm just going to stop at beginner level or maybe stop at intermediate level. That's not our conversation here. At the intermediate level, now you spend some months growing. And don't forget, I mentioned that if you have questions, please drop them in the chat. You've spent some months growing. You spent some months owning your skills. You've built some things. You've delivered projects as a product manager or as a business analyst or whatever skill it is. It doesn't really matter in the framework that we are talking about today. What you need to do is that always look at that 360-degree of skills, experience, exposure. Where am I lacking? What can I do better? Also, spend some time in your ecosystem. In as much as possible, spend time in things that you can do to also build the ecosystem. Do things that are noteworthy. Do things that are newsworthy. And if it's possible, ensure that you are pitching yourself to newspapers, your industry colleagues, and so on. Because that's how some of these exposures will come. You could get invitations to speak at smaller events. You could get invitations to speak at even larger events, the Google developer groups of this world, and several others. Don't just look at skills then. Look at exposure. Show yourself, show what you're doing. Contribute to open source if you don't have anything at all to contribute to. Contribute to tech industry, tech ecosystems. Build your profile, build your brand visibility. You can start that at the beginner level, but spend a lot of time doing that at the intermediate level. And so as you are growing on your skill, grow in the experience, grow in that exposure. And there are different visa opportunities available at that level to you. One of them would be the UK Global Talent Visa, but as an exceptional promise, not exceptional talent. If you're able to show the impact of your work, if you're able to show innovation that you've brought to your work, if you're able to show that you are being recognized as an emerging talent in the field of technology, if you're able to show impact, recognition, and even innovation, all of these will add up to you being able to establish yourself and to you being able to show all of that together towards that opportunity. But you could also look at the UK skilled worker visa, because at that level, if they are looking for intermediate level skills at in different industries, they may be looking for you. There's a method to this. One of the resources that we believe that you should look at on the app will be the landing a tech job in the tech ecosystem. Landing a tech job in the tech ecosystem. This is part of what you may want to look at that level. And my time is fast spent. At the advanced level, you can be mentoring at any one of these levels. Even at beginner level, you can actually mentor. Because if you spend 2 months in the field, there's someone that is just starting at level 0 today. You can help that person grow. We use that model a lot within our own ecosystem. But at the intermediate level, this is the point. At the advanced level, apologies, this is the point where you want to start giving back. This is the point where you want to start showing a successful brand because you've built a successful career over years. You've built a successful career that you can point at. A lot of the things that we don't do at this level is documenting what you've done. Because we achieve something, we move on to the next one. But guess what? Part of what assessors want to see at that level is, what have you done? These things that you're talking about that you've done, can you prove it to me that you've actually done them? Show me how you did them in some cases. Evidence, don't tell me we achieved this giant dream. No, tell me what you did as part of achieving that. An interesting interview question I've recently started using is this, and this is for advanced people. If you were not in that setup, in that project, tell me something that will not have been done because you were not there. Tell me something they would not have been able to achieve because you were not there. And a lot of people stumble on that question, sometimes because they've never thought about it before, but sometimes because they were replaceable in that project or company and so on in the first place. At the advanced level, you would have access to visas like the UK Global Talent Visa as exceptional talent, particularly if you're working in the field of digital tech, product-led digital technology, particularly. But you would also have other opportunities as well. The US O1 visa, the US EB1 visa, if you're at that level. The US EB2 visa is available to say you have the possibility of being a global talent. The US EB1 visa says that you have actually achieved and made all of this impact and you can evidence it. All of these are available to you at that level, depending on what you've done in your career. And then on the company side, if you built a successful company, if you built a company that has the right impact, the right level of impact, then you can be looking at the likes of the Canada Startup Visa, for example. You can be looking at the likes of the IEP program, for example. That's for US. Now, my point with these rhetorics over the last few minutes is just to help you see that, yes, at every step of this journey, there are different visa opportunities available to you. Now, you may be targeting one or the other of these opportunities. Or in some cases, part of your game plan may be that you want to move to an intermediate jurisdiction. This is really popular, particularly if you're at the intermediate level. You may be targeting to say, oh, let me start with maybe a digital nomad visa to different countries of the world. There are many of them now, particularly European countries, and they would like to host you if you are able to qualify under the different visas that they have made available. And so that journey is a journey where you should be intentional. Don't leave it to chance where you want to be. Don't say, oh, I don't yet qualify now, so therefore there's nothing for me to do. I still don't qualify. Because what we are saying is that although you may not qualify now, you may qualify in the shortest possible time. And so the last part of what I would like to just share would then be to talk about some of these opportunities. As I said earlier, you may want to take a screenshot of this particular slide. You may want to take a screenshot of this and then do your own research. From an eMigr8 perspective, we have made a number of resources available to you, and I'm just going to use that to talk about each one of these opportunities. As you can see, we've sort of broken it down into different aspects. We've broken it into startup, talent, work-based, temporary visa, and so on. And for many of these opportunities, we've curated different resources that are available to you that will help you if you are on the journey towards any one of these opportunities. In no particular order, you may want to look at video 1A if you are focused on the UK Global Talent Visa. If you check on the eMigr8 YouTube channel, and if you check on the community, for every one of these are usually 1 hour, 30 minutes, 2 hours, 2.5 hours, packed full of resources, of information, and not just generic information for people that have actually taken the journey. They talk about things like how they applied, what did they do, how did they get to that level before they were even qualified. They talk about what their journey looked like. They talk about how eMigr8 helped them. They talk about how the platform helped them. And they talk about what they did in terms of applying, what documents did they submit, and so on. All of these resources are available to you on the platform. If you are focused on the North America route, different North American route, you can look at 1B, resource 1B. All the resources I'm talking about at this point are all available on the eMigr8 Tech Visa app, right? So if you download the app, go under packages and go under indication of interest resources, you will find these resources there. But I'm just talking about these resources that are available to help that journey. If you're interested in the innovator founder route, you may want to look at video 1C. The UK innovator founder used to be called the UK starter visa and the UK innovator visa. And we have a number of successes across all these routes that may be able to help. And we have had some conversation around these that would be useful for you. You may also want to look at, for UK again, UK skilled worker route, which is video 1D. And this is around tech career coaching. With the skilled worker route, what you need is that you need to land a job that will give you certificate of sponsorship. And you could land that at intermediate level or advanced level. There is no sponsorship for beginner level, sorry. Right? But if you're a beginner, you can actually become intermediate within a 6 month period, even 3 month period. If you already have transferable skill, you can actually become intermediate level very quickly, right? Beginner level, skilled worker visa means skilled worker, meaning you have the skill. So not available at beginner level. What you should be working on is becoming intermediate within the shortest possible time. If you are not quite decided as well, we do have some resources, video 1E, and some resources available to you to say, oh, these are different options that you may want to take a look at, similar to what we're doing on this session today. 1F looks at the German EU Blue Card visa. It's also work-based, but is work-based where you must show yourself as a talent. And video 1D resource 1D would be useful if 1F, apologies, 1F would be useful if you're looking at that. If you're looking at the Canada startup visa, Canada startup visa is not available if your startup is just starting. It is only available if you have built that startup to a point where it now has some sort of traction. And that traction is what you may be able to use to say, now that our startup has some traction, we now want to go global. And we want to use Canada as a place to go global. Interestingly, with the Canada startup visa, you can actually go with up to 5 co-founders. Of course, you have to time it well because they've now reduced the number of visas they will issue on an annual basis. Last year, it was in quotes unlimited, in quotes, right? But this year, they've reduced the number, so you have to time it well. But it starts with you having a successful startup that already has traction. And if you're at that level already, maybe it's something you want to be looking at. Guess what? You get you are directly on a pathway to permanent residency. We also have and so that's one, sorry, that's resource 1G. One I is our self-employed route, including the UK self-sponsorship route. The UK self-sponsorship route is not a new visa. It's actually the skilled worker route, skilled worker visa, but you are your own employer. And it can be an absolutely new business in the UK. There's a way to do that, and it is legal. It's not any under the table approach or anything. The Home Office is clear on what it is that you're doing. If you're already in the UK looking for a pathway to settlement, you may want to look at this. Instead of you depending on other employers, why don't you depend on yourself as your own employer if you're going to be looking at that as an option, right? And so the self-sponsorship route may be something you want to look at. And there are a few other self-employed routes that we talked about in that resource 1I. 1J looks at the EB2 NIW route. And the EB2 NIW route is available if you have a UK master's or you're about to finish a UK master's or a foreign master's of any sort. You may already be qualified for the EB2 NIW. Do an assessment on our platform. Some of those assessments are actually free, and check. But even if you're not qualified yet, maybe you're almost qualified. Maybe you need to figure out what some of the things that you should do so that you're doing them now, so you are qualified by the time you actually need it, if you are looking at the US. 1K is one of our packages, which is the UK, settled in the UK as a tech talent. And this is one of the packages that comes with the eMigr8 guarantee. We earn most of our fee at the point of your success. What we do with the settle in the UK package is that we can take you from any level, whether you're a beginner or you're already intermediate or you're an advanced person, and we're able to handle you through a whole journey towards you being qualified for any one of the UK Global Talent Visa, UK Skilled Worker Visa, UK Innovator Founder Visa. All of that is in one bucket, right? We won't know which one of the three you will qualify for at the beginning of the journey. But as we continue the journey within the first month or thereabout, we will start knowing, oh, this is number one, this is number two, this is number three. But that comes with that guarantee that I've just mentioned. And we have testimonials of that journey that you can also take a look at as part of the resources. We've also talked about the Hong Kong Global Talent Route, which is the Quality Migrant Scheme. And our coach also spoke about some of the things you can do to say, yeah, you may want to look at Hong Kong. It may not be your first choice, but maybe that's where you want to move to first. There's free education in Hong Kong, for example, right? Maybe that's where you want to move to first, and then you may move from Hong Kong to somewhere else in the future. These are some of the strategies you may want to look at in terms of taking that journey and helping you become global. We have many other resources available to you, including office hours, including the open days, including the landscape, I mentioned it earlier, including some communities where we are able to help in terms of just for free, the eMigr8 community, and also a couple of other communities available to you. The landscape, the app, we do have a pre-evaluation test, which we're building out into AI driven and so on. You answer a couple of questions and it will tell you what we think as regards where you are and some of the things that you can do immediately for you to be able to move forward as well. And so several resources are designed to be able to help that journey if you're looking at moving from zero to global talent. And so the question is, what's stopping you? The platform is here for you, and the platform is here to help. The coaches on the platform are also here to help. Many of the coaches are actually volunteering their time because they genuinely want to help you. And that may be what you want to look at to say, what do I need to do today to be able to get to that next level, to be able to accelerate that journey? We will be going to questions now, as we mentioned. If you have questions, please drop them in the chat. We've also mentioned that if you wait till the end, we do have a gift for you. I will talk about the gift in a moment. If you wait till the end of this session, we do have a gift for you. I'll also mention to say we are currently running a survey in the eMigr8 community. eMigr8 community is undergoing, that's the eMigr8 platform generally, the community, the app, everything. We're actually undergoing a, do I call it rebranding or upgrade is more of what I will call it at the moment. And so I'm sure my colleagues will probably drop the link in the chat of the survey. It's been shared within all the different communities in eMigr8. And we're asking that please help us complete the survey. Help us complete the survey because it will help us help you better. We actually started the freemium model within the eMigr8 community because of feedback from our community. And there are several things that we've done, changed, added, and so on in eMigr8 because you've told us that these are things that would be useful for you. We're listening and we would like to hear. We're working towards our strategy for the coming year. And we are hoping that you are community members, even if today is your first time in the community or you're just watching this video for the first time, we would like to hear from you. Fill that survey before it closes. It will close by the end of the year. Fill that survey. Let us hear from you. We want to help and just help us understand how we can help better. If you haven't downloaded the app or if you don't currently use the app often, please do. The eMigr8 Visa app is on the App Store and the Google Play Store. eMigr8 is spelled eMigr with the number 8. That's how eMigr8 is spelled. And watch out for eMigr8.ai. That is launching soon. I've been testing it myself. The team have been working very hard, and it's part of the what is going to be exposed to the community as both freemium as well. So we have a free aspect to read. The vertical LLM is currently being trained and all of that, and we do have a few things that will be premium in there as well. So really exciting times from an eMigr8 perspective. Oh, by the way, if you're an investor in the room, we are currently raising a pre-seed round as well for eMigr8 because eMigr8 is launching as its own startup in the coming months. So we will go to questions at this point in time. Thank you for joining us at this edition of eMigr8 Open Day. For those just joining, we are now at the last section for the session today, which is around questions. And so we are opening to questions now. Do type the questions in the chat. We won't have the time to take questions on a open coaching approach to it. And so if you type the questions in the chat, we'll get to as many questions as possible during this edition of eMigr8 Open Day. Also, do give us a feedback. We are collecting public ratings and public feedback as regards what we are doing on the platform. If this has been useful to you, please do give us a feedback. My colleague will drop that in the chat as well. Do give us a feedback. We are collecting feedback on both Trustpilot and also on Google ratings. And so you can do give us a feedback on any of those platforms. And so I'm going to take the first question. My name is a senior engineer in a company interested in global talent visa, specifically Australia. I've done my ACS accreditation. That's good. And I've nudged the ACS on nomination. What's the next thing for me? So the next thing is you need to get a nomination from ACS. So ACS is the Australia Computer Society, for those who are not familiar. Australia Computer Society is one of the accredited organization or individuals that are able to nominate people for the Australia Global Talent Visa. Now, part of the challenges you would have is that they are actually closing down on the Australia Global Talent Visa at this point because they are now about to change that visa to become the innovation visa. There's a new name for it. It hasn't been launched, but they are actually reducing in terms of application. So even if you get the nomination, you would need to pray that you do get the visa before the laws change, which is expected early next year. Right. And so, yes, what you will need to do at this point is once ACS has accredited you and all of that, you want to get them to nominate you at that point. And we can discuss a bit more. There are a few things I can't say in a public setting like this. You can book a one-to-one session where that can also be discussed as regards the Australia Global Talent Visa. The good news about that particular visa is that they are upgrading it now and they are changing it to be more like the UK Global Talent Visa. We did an open day recently. You'll find it on our YouTube channel. It's not yet on the app, but if you go on our YouTube channel, you'll find it there around the Australia Global Talent Visa last month. And that would also give you a number of resources that would be helpful towards that journey, even past the point of you getting that nomination from ACS. Next question, and don't forget, as I said, if you have questions, please drop them in the chat. Glory from UK. I'm a cybersecurity mentor at Sci Black. Finished my MSc in cybersecurity and about to publish a research paper with my supervisor. I'm really interested in GTV. I assume that's UK Global Talent Visa, and particularly need help with the startup lab. Yeah, so what you want to do, Glory, is to apply. I'm sure either in the community or on this chat, they will put the links to Labs by Bincom, for example. So if this is part of what you need, you can use Labs by Bincom. I would also question to say that as a cybersecurity expert, you already have a number of the things that they do need. If you are publishing a research paper, that won't qualify immediately because what you would need is that you ensure that your research paper gets cited. They're really interested in how many people, what kind of impact is that research paper making? Who else is citing that your research paper? Put it on the likes of Google Scholar so that you can track your citations and so on your paper. And you are definitely along the lines to being able to qualify for the UK Global Talent Visa. Although what you've told me so far would not qualify you alone. There's a lot more that you need to qualify for the UK Global Talent, but you are definitely well on your way based on some of the things that you've mentioned here. Next question says, Oladayo from Nigeria. I'm a graduate of geography. Can I apply as a startup? So I'm not sure which one of the visas, because I talked about quite a number of visas during the session today. So I'm not sure which one of them you are talking about. But generally speaking, a graduate of geography, even if you're an absolute beginner today, hopefully you were paying attention to part of what I said, which is that an absolute newbie today is not a problem. Because if you have a right roadmap, you can grow yourself from absolute newbie to the point of being a global talent over a short period of time. You can do it on a DIY approach, do it yourself approach, which is free on the eMigr8 platform, right? You can do a DIY approach. Of course, you have to pay for your own trainings or things like that if you need them. It doesn't have to be on the Bincom platform or on the eMigr8 platform, but we will be able to support everything that you need on using a DIY approach on the app. The app is also there to support you. And then, yes, you can take a journey forward to say, oh, let me become a startup founder. Let me build my first startup, even if it fails. 9 out of every 10 startups fail, but that doesn't really matter. What really matters is the fact that you're coming out of that as a startup founder with experience. And that experience can help with the next step that you may want to take. And there are visas available to you because you have those next steps in place and because you have that experience in place. So hopefully that was helpful. Thank you. In addition is eMigr8. Yeah, thank you for answering the questions as regards expat versus immigrant. And I hope you paid attention to what I'm saying, that what we hope that you see yourself as is as an expatriate. And because as an expatriate, you have many options. And it's just a mindset change. Immigrant, expatriates. Same person, just the mindset is different. web developer, just concluded a 6-month training and our project's done. So I'm trying to see what route will be best for me. We've talked about several different routes on this session. I've also pointed you to different places where you can get resources. For every one of those visa opportunities, Google them. You will see a lot of information in public domain. You would also find information on our platform, on the eMigr8 platform, and you will find coaching sessions, open days such as this one, where we drill down into each one of those visa opportunity. So I'm talking 2 hours, 3 hours of drill down, things you can't Google on those visa opportunities. Maybe that's where you want to start to say, okay, which one am I looking at, and so on. You're a web app developer, meaning you're a developer. Right. So a lot of options for you because you're on the technical side of tech. 6 months training doesn't tell me much because that may be a beginner. But then you've said that you have projects. What does that mean? Do your projects have traction? All of those things will count. Are you at the intermediate level? Are you at the beginner level? All of those things will count. And one of the things you can do is you can actually book a free coaching session after you have done your research, right? To say, oh, what are the things that I can do? There are some premium routes that you may also be interested in, but I'm just saying that it's available for you to say either you want to do DIY or you're on a premium approach. We're able to support both of those. Next one says, I have 2+ years of experience in software engineering. Am I qualified for Global Exceptional Promise UK? Can I use a virtual training where I mentor as part of my evidence? Can you use virtual training where you mentor as evidence? Yes, you can, but it can't be your only evidence. 2 years of experience in software engineering doesn't say much because what is the impact of your work? You could have 1 year of experience and you've built something that 1 million people uses every day. That is impactful. And if you say to me that you are the only one that built that thing that they all use every day, fantastic impact, then what you have to be looking at is outside your day-to-day work, what else do you do? What I would advise you do is that take a look at the UK, yeah, this is UK Global Talent. Take a look at the Tech Nation Visa Guide. It will take you 1 hour to read it. And I'm advising that you read it twice. The first time you read it like a storybook. Just read what they are saying, what are they talking about and all. But the second time you read it with a pen and paper. They will talk about, there's a section in the guide that talks about, have you done XYZ before? Note down if you've done some of those things before. You can do a self-assessment. And of course, if you need help, you can also book a coaching session for a better assessment from an eMigr8 coach. Everyone on the call gets 1 coaching session free. And this is a good time for me to talk about the gift I mentioned, to say if you wait till the end, you get a gift from us. This is your gift. Your gift is a coaching session, a short coaching session, free of charge. For you to redeem that gift, what you will need to do is on any one of the eMigr8 communities, whether on WhatsApp, Telegram, Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, or YouTube, any one of the communities, just go mention there to say you attended this edition of eMigr8 Open Day and that you have won a gift of a free short coaching session. The community managers will take note of you. And what would happen is in your profile, they will give you 1 more coaching session available for you free of charge. You can use that session within the next 3 months, so you don't have to book the session immediately. But when you do book the session, when you need it, what would happen is they will allow you do that session at no cost to you. That means that you get a second session at no cost to you. I've also mentioned to say that, and this is only available 1 per person. So please don't say you've attended 20 eMigr8 Open Days, so therefore you have 20 of these sessions. You only get 1 per person. We've been asked to clarify that on this call because a few people have asked along those lines. Right, so this is the gift. If you're watching the replay video, this gift is also available to you. It's the same instruction. Go on any of the communities and go say what I've just mentioned, that you attended this session and that you won this prize. And so the community manager will take note of you. And for now, we do it manually. They will manually increment the number of free coaching sessions you have access to for you. And then you are able to use that for your journey, regardless of which route that you are taking. Hopefully, this will help your journey. And this is part of our gift to you. Next person says, I want to get into tech. So this is a beginner. How do I start all over? Please give me some pointers. I'm currently a management consultant with a background in project finance. Start a startup is what I would say to you. Follow on to my previous question. The goal is to migrate to the UK or Canada. I am the project finance person. So you are the investor, right? You are the CEO. You are the business side of this technology. One of the ways one of the shortcuts you can use is actually build a startup. Why did I say so? Because in your process of building a startup, particularly if you come up with an innovative idea that is scalable and viable, you would qualify for the UK Innovator Founder Visa. I advise that only one founder at a time should apply. So if you are the business, you are the brain behind the startup, they will assess whether or not you are critical to the startup. So please ensure that whatever the innovation is, ensure that you are able to show why you are critical to it. So that means that the consultant you mentioned, but you may also, those are the things that you want to come up with an idea that can help other people deliver that can help many other people. It has to be innovative, it has to be scalable, it has to be viable. When we say innovative, it doesn't necessarily mean that it has to be out of this world. It may be you doing something that they do in a slightly different way. Facebook was not the first social media. Many of us use MySpace and i5 before Facebook came up. But Facebook came up with a small change, which is called the news feed. We still use it today. It's now on many other social media platforms. And that's what was the innovation. And that's what everybody then moved to Facebook and so on. My point is, please don't say, oh, innovation, I don't know how to get it. We do have some ideation sessions that can help you. We do have an idea bank that can help you. We do have some problems that you can take a look at that can help. But a lot of times you may want to look at your unique experience and use that to ideate something. And that could help your journey. Now, once you build that startup, so that would be for the UK. UK is fine for you at the beginner level, at a younger startup level. Just idea is fine. Although we usually don't advise you to apply at the idea stage, it's better that you already start building that in your own country. There are different reasons for that. I'll keep that for another session. Then, if you are able to grow that startup to get traction, right, you would be able to use the like of the Canada startup visa. Canada startup visa requires you to do proof of English, so you still have to do IELTS at some point, which is valid for a few years. Yeah, it's valid for a bit. But you can then use that for Canada startup visa if you're able to show traction for your company. Interestingly, with the Canada startup visa, you can move with up to 5 co-founders. So there's a lot that you can do along that line. You sound very experienced, right? You are not necessarily a beginner because you have transferable skill from your management consulting days. You can build a business. What you then need is a technical co-founder to work with you to build a technology business. Hopefully that was helpful. I'm a program analyst with 10 years of experience and MSc Computer Science. What are my chances for EB2 NIW? Do I qualify for UK Global Talent Visa? I don't know, but I think I've answered the Global Talent part of the question when I was talking to somebody else who asked a different question. For the EB2 NIW, your MSc in Computer Science will be very helpful. You will need to show additional experience that you've had before you did your MSc. So hopefully you didn't just graduate and went to do MSc, and hopefully it is relevant. If you have your CV, you can share it within the app. There's a process for doing that, and you would be able to get some sort of assessment, right? If you want further conversation, that's a paid session with the coach in charge of that. But you can start with that assessment to say, oh, where am I in terms of my journey? But generally speaking, your master's counts for a lot. What you would then have to show is 5 years of experience. You already have 10 years of experience. So it sounds interesting, and yeah, you likely qualify for the EB2 NIW. If not already, you would qualify in the shortest possible time. And I think we've come to the end of questions at this point. My team did not share any questions from the community, so I don't know if there was any of those. I'm also checking to make sure I didn't lose out any question. I don't think so, but I think our time is also fast spent. If you're just joining, welcome to eMigr8 Open Day. And we're at the last leg now where I'm just going to be sharing just a few concluding thoughts as regards what we've discussed today. Thank you for those that have asked questions, and let us continue this conversation in any one of the eMigr8 communities. The best community as at this moment is WhatsApp. And the reason is because many of our coaches are there, and it is a more engaged community at the moment. Although we assess everyone that we allow into the WhatsApp community, and so we can't allow every single person that applies. And also, we are not able to allow silent observers in the community. So we are coming to a point where we'll be weeding out people from the WhatsApp community. Other communities don't need that restriction because it can accept many more people. And so Telegram is there, LinkedIn is there, YouTube is even there. Subscribe to the channel. Twitter is there, Facebook is there and all. But let's continue this conversation in any of the community. Tell us where you are in your journey. Tell us how we can help. Book coaching sessions as you need for us to be able to give additional insight. We've talked about how you can get additional free coaching session at this point. And all of this is available on the eMigr8 Visa platform. We talked about zero to global talent to say these are some things you should do if you're an absolute newbie just coming into the field of tech, whether you've never had any work experience before, or more importantly, if you already have transferable skills. Don't think of yourself as an absolute newbie or absolute beginner, because yes, you need to learn some key skills, but you can literally jump all of those hoops to intermediate level in a 3 month period, maybe a 6 month period, and all of that. We talked about things that you can do from an intermediate level. We talked about advanced level and so on. Two more categories of people to just talk to in the eMigr8 community. If you are not in your home country, but you are not on a pathway to settlement, we have a number of that community from the UK and a number from the US. The same requirements that we've talked about actually is the same requirement for you. The only thing is that please don't wait till when you have 1 month left on your visa before you now say, oh yeah, what have they been talking about that you could have been doing for like a year? Some of these things that we talk about on this platform requires a journey, 3 months, 6 months, maybe even up to 1 year. And so you need to start yesterday and then gradually be on that journey. Please don't forget that we only, for now, talk only about tech visas on this platform. There may be other options and other pathways and so on. We don't talk about that yet on this platform. We are working on expanding to more sectors over the next few years. But for now, we focus on tech. And what we are saying is that start building your profile now. Don't say because I'm a student, I can't start building some things. Maybe it's some skills you want to add those skills now. Maybe it's a startup you want to build that now. Please don't go violate the conditions of your visa, whatever your visa is, but please take a look at yourself, have a roadmap for yourself, whether you are doing it yourself or you're on one of our premium plans on the eMigr8 platform. And if you are ready to apply, we are here to help. If you need a second set of eyes to look at what you're doing, your application, maybe because of experience, we don't offer immigration advice nor legal advice on this platform. We do partner with lawyers. We do partner with immigration consultants. If you need that, we are able to signpost you to some of our partners who focus on that. What we focus on, and which is our own unique selling point, is the experience from people that have done it before, is the hand-holding, is how do you even become qualified? And in the case of this category I'm talking to, how do you show to your assessors that you are qualified for these visa pathways? Because in some cases, it may just be a case of you telling your story in a slightly different way, so that those assessors, who are human beings as well, will see that, oh, this is the type of person that we are looking for in the countries. There are different techniques to it. The Australia Global Talent is more academic. The UK Global Talent Visa is more around product-led digital innovation. The US Global Talent route, which is the O1 route, for example, requires pages and pages of evidence, right, which is called a petition. But these on this platform are coaches who have good experience in that journey and are able to handhold you on the things that you need to do to qualify, or the things that you need to show yourself as qualified. Some of it is available free of charge. And so the question is, what are you waiting for? This may be useful for you. Thank you so much for joining us in this edition of eMigr8 Open Day. Has this been useful for you? If it has been useful, please let us know. Drop it in the chat. Make a comment on this video if you're watching the replay. Let us know. Give us that feedback. That feedback helps us to continue doing this. We do this because we are hearing about the impacts that we're making. We do this because we see families who have been able to achieve more of their potential because we exist as a startup, as a company. But your feedback helps us to continue doing this as well. Let us know on this call if this was useful for you. And if you can, please give us a public feedback as well. Hopefully my colleague has dropped the link. If not, it will be dropped in the community as well. Let us know if this was useful. Let others know as well. It helps our marketing. It helps us to continue reaching more people with the fact and the information that we do have to offer, the inspiration we have to offer, the coaching we have to offer, the hand-holding we have to offer, because ultimately what we want is for every single individual to become the best possible potential, to achieve the best possible potential for themselves. What we want is for every single individual to become globally attractive. That's why we are eMigr8 Tech Visa. Thank you, everyone. Have a lovely rest of the day. Thank you.